Phenomenal morning, phenomenal morning, phenomenal morning. I am your host, Sean East, and yes, this is again another edition of Breakfast with the Brand. This is the Leadership Live Deep Dive edition. So we're going to be doing this 5 days a week, guys. And let me ask you a question, or let me tell you the answer to a question that I get. Why every day? Why 5 days a week, Sean? Like it's Thursday. Yesterday was what they call hump day, right? What's going on? Why are you doing it every day? And just so everybody knows that we are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, multiple places, Twitter, YouTube, X now, right? Twitter is X now. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, X. We are everywhere. And, speak to the people at IG, speak to the people at Instagram, tell them that we want to be able to, jump on live there as well without using another phone. I might have to snatch up another phone just to do that, right? Just to touch those people. Listen, guys. What is today's topic? Dominate the day is today's topic, guys. You want to be able to dominate your day. I was speaking with the LinkedIn Voice people earlier, and just, me and I think it was Jordan. Jordan came up here and we was talking about getting up at 3:30 in the morning and having a robust routine. A lot of you guys are going to go to work today. I'm already at work. I checked in a long time ago. Why? Because I have my own business, so I don't take off, right? So this is what we do. I believe in life and work integration. I learned that from Jack Welch a long time ago. Everybody was talking about the balance and the work-life balance, and they didn't have the results that they were looking for in their lives or in their businesses. They were so concerned with balance. However, we are more concerned with integration. How do you integrate your business into your life and your life into your business in a way that you have what we call, and this is a word from my clinical background, homeostasis. Homeostasis, which does mean balance, but it's a little bit deeper than balance. It's more like equilibrium. And being coherent, having absolute clarity, and being congruent. So a lot of times people feel like when they're going to work, they're stealing from their family. When they're going to deal with their business and work in their business, they feel like they're stealing from their family. But the mindset and the way the mindset works is if you reorient your prioritization and you reframe it. So they call it cognitive reframing. The way you cognitively reframe that is when I'm working, like right now, I'm actually adding to my family. I'm actually adding to my family's future. I'm making deposits. I'm making monetary deposits. Why? Because this is what's known as marketing. I'm also making connections and I'm feeding the people. I'm working with the people, guys. When you're working with the people, you're not stealing from the people that you care most about. You're actually adding value to them. And I talked yesterday about turning your why into a who. So a lot of us talk about the why. Why do we do things? What's the motivating factor? And we have a lot of external motivating factors. We have the car, the house. What do we want to do? We want to do what we want to do, when we want to do it, where we want to do it, for however long we want to do it. All of that sounds good, right? The creature comforts. But when you turn your why into a who, it's much more sustainable. This is why police officers and soldiers at war have the pictures of the people they love in their helmets. Because when the day gets hard, when the day gets long, when things get rough for them, they take off their hats and they remind themselves of why they do it in the first place. And this helps them to put their hat back on, go about their day, hit it hard, and actually dominate the day. So turn your why into a who. I've had the whys, I've had, the motivation, but when I turned my why into a who and assigned a name to it, then I began to look at the faces of my loved ones. I tell you guys all the time, if you guys on LinkedIn Voice, I'm showing my hand right now with my wedding ring, right? I tell you guys, my wife changed my life. When I wake up every day and I look in her face, I'm reminded of why I do what I do. So I don't have a problem getting up at 3:00 in the morning. It's never a challenge for me. It's an opportunity. It's an honor. It's a privilege. And it's non-negotiable. Same thing when I think about my children, like education. So those of you who might not know, I've been an adult late adult entrant into higher levels of education. And it's never been hard for me. It really hasn't. You know what was hard? What was hard was growing up in Harlem with a bad socioeconomic background and lack of education and lack of resources. That was hard. For those of you who know a little bit more, when I was walking to school at the age of 14, seeing my own name on the wall because one of my best friends whose name was mine, Sean, he died and they put his name on the wall. So when I was going to school, it was like I saw my own name on the wall. That was hard. Business is easy, guys. Business is easy. Doing what you have to do for your family is extremely easy. Going to school, going to work is extremely easy. So again, guys, I know I'm opening up heavy, but I want you to understand who I am, why I do what I do, and what this is about to look like. So today is called Dominate the Day, and we're going to go to the first break, and we'll be right back. Let's grow. It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. I said Sean Rais. I'm proud. Sean Rais. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Sean, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and you know, game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes. All right, guys. So we are back. We're talking about dominating the day. So I want to make a clarification real quick. And you guys know, if you watch me any amount of time, you know I like the limericks, right? You don't want to give into procrastination or participation during the day. You want to lean into the domination of the day as opposed to the participation or the procrastination. Think back when you were a child in grade school. Think of when you were a kid in grade school and the teacher asked a question. You're always presented with opportunities in life. It's the same thing. You're always going to be presented with opportunities. So the teacher asks you a question and you know the answer. There's 3 things you can do. You can shout out the answer, which I used to do, which is one of the reasons why I would get in trouble, because I believe in domination. You can raise your hand and do the participation piece, or you can sit there knowing that you know the answer and not answer, and that is a form of procrastination. So you have 3 alternatives during the entire day: domination, participation, and procrastination. And let me take you back to Harlem for a moment. One of the reasons why I made sure that I dominate, and I chose this very early on. I was coming from another background, entering into Harlem for the first time. I was in my first school, PS 94, 194 on 144th Street. Yeah, 144th Street between 7th and 8th Avenue. And there was a spelling bee. So during the training for the spelling bee, see, I learned something early on, and this is not the best thing to learn, but it's the reality, right? Where I grew up. Formerly, I was in another state, and in that state, around that demographic, education was highly favored. You were very popular if you were intelligent. So I used to read fast. I used to read aloud. I used to participate in everything, economically and educationally, academically. However, when I came to Harlem, for men, boys, black boys in particular, it wasn't as favored to be intelligent, to be assertive, to be academically inclined. It was more of a feminine trait. So I learned real quick, hold on, play down the intelligence. Play down the intelligence and boost up the aggressiveness, right? We were acknowledged for not being intelligent, but for being socially disruptive or socially inept, quiet to ourselves. We were popular for being able to fight. We were popular for being aggressive. We were popularized for doing things that were antisocial and outside of societal means. That's why they call it sometimes a school to prison pipeline. So I know sometimes we'll go into social justice, economics, and all of that good stuff, right? So this is one of those moments. However, so in the 6th grade, they're preparing for a school spelling test for the county. And I know all of the answers. I know all of the answers that are coming up. As a matter of fact, they're simple, but I don't participate. I isolate and I stay quiet. And I wanted to participate, but there was something inside of me like, Sean, you're going to put the spotlight on yourself. And it's not cool anymore. School isn't cool here. Something else is cool here. Where you came from, school was popular. But here it's different. So don't raise your hand, don't participate. So I didn't do that. And the young lady won the nomination, and we went to the spell off, right? The spelling bee is what they called it. And this took place in City College. So on 135th Street in Harlem, City College, we went to the spelling bee. And they're going through the rounds, and people are winning, and they're asking different questions. And they asked, and I'll never forget this. I promise you, I'll be 79 thinking about this in my head. They asked the young lady from our school the word griddle. That was the word, griddle. And I'm lambasting myself the entire time because people are getting disqualified for words that are extremely simple and I could spell them in my sleep. But when they asked the young lady the word griddle, and she said Grittle, I almost melted in my clothes. And the little buzzer went off, and she got disqualified and disqualified our school. The person who went on to win, I think he might have spelled encyclopedia or something like that. That was extremely simple as well. It showed me something. I want you to think of all of the things that you're not doing right now that you could be doing. I said yesterday that everybody has 10 books inside of them. If you're watching this right now, if you're listening to this right now, all my people on LinkedIn Voice, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, you have 10 books inside of you and like 5 businesses. You've got like 5 different cash flow streams in you right now, but you're not raising your hand. You're not raising your hand. You're either procrastinating or barely participating. If you're going to work today, then you're participating. If you're not dominating, if you're not crushing it, if you're not doing everything that you can to extricate yourself from a subservient position and add a 0 to your revenue, add a 0 to your net worth, if you're not going to networking events, if you're not building your own business, if you're not writing your book, if you're not doing these things that successful people do, massively successful people do, when you know you have the ability, then you're playing small. You're playing small and you're participating, but you're also procrastinating when it comes to your greatness. You're procrastinating when it comes to your greatness. I want to offer you, I want to posit that you have so much more capability. You have so much more unrealized and untapped potential. Even myself, and this is why I'm doing this. Even myself, we're doing all the things we're doing. So I meet with my executive coaching community Mondays, Thursdays. We have another community that we met with yesterday on Wednesdays. We have another high-level mastermind that we meet every other Friday. So almost every single day I'm doing coaching calls. On Saturday, we do the Breakfast with the Brand. But I realized capacity that I had that I wasn't tapping into. And I said, you know what, Sean, you got a lot to say. You could do this every single day. Why aren't you? Why are you procrastinating? Why are you participating? And why aren't you dominating and coming and just going live and giving the people free value every single day? And I didn't have an answer for that. So you know what my answer was? This call. This call is my answer to that question. I don't wait. My whole team was like, Sean, what are you doing? You got to prepare this. You got to strategize this. You want to market this. I said, no. What you want to do is you want to act on this. You want to act on this. So that's going to be my next topic, guys, or my last topic. As a matter of fact, we're going to close out with overthinking and underacting. Overthinking and underacting. There's a lot of you that are trying to strategize your success. You're trying to diagram it out. You're sitting back with the blueprint and you're trying to, draw out how it's going to look when you go back to school and when you write the book or when you open the business while you're raising the kids. You're like, how is this going to line up? I don't know how this is going to, I need the perfect time. Now is not the right time. Listen, now is always the only time that you have. Right now is the only time that you have. And before I close out, I'm going to say this. I tell people all the time that the best time for you to build a business, plant a tree, write the book, the best time for you to have done that was 10 years ago. If you haven't done it yet, now is all you have. Don't wait until tomorrow because tomorrow's not destined to come. It's not guaranteed for you. The only thing that's guaranteed for you, if you're listening to my voice right now, and hashtag replay to the people that are not, right? If you're underground, if you're, on the subway going to hit it, like I'm with you 100%. If you're in the air flying over the earth, I'm with you 100%. If you're going to work, if you're engaging, I'm with you 100%. Hashtag replay squad, right? Let me know that you're watching. Let me know that you feel this. Let me know that you're listening. Travis, I understand completely. So Travis jumped over to YouTube. He said, I'm a visual learner. Needed to hop over from LinkedIn, guys. If you're on LinkedIn Voice and you can't see this, like pull up YouTube or pull up LinkedIn on your screen. You can also see this, guys. Phenomenal Morning, Tia. I see you on Facebook. We have Blake Bigot. We have Serena Jones, Bianca Wilder, Jordan K on LinkedIn Voice. Dominate the day, guys. Dominate the day. And if you're wondering, Sean, I'd love to dominate. I've got the skills to dominate, but I don't have the confidence. That's what we'll be talking about when we come back. Let's grow. This is Sean Rais, Breakfast with the Brand. The reason why I did this and what I do is help leaders to become brands and brand themselves. You train people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. I teach authenticity marketing. If people can take advantage of you, they will in your personal or professional existence.
My biggest takeaway just from day one is you are the brand. I would recommend it to anybody that's really looking to build a personal brand.
Just the brand in general has changed my life. I've grown so much since I've been a part of this.
I see myself in what he does, and I believe in it just as much as I believe in myself.
Business is like a game of chess. It's not checkers. If you don't know how to lead with a personal brand, then you're losing the battle.
Everything about Sean's talk was fantastic. I mean, I got so much from it.
So he was really bringing fire and passion and just love and
spirit to let everybody else know how do you become a leader amongst the leaders.
You hold the key in your hand. There is more power in this phone than there was that took the first man to the moon.
His energy, his dynamic information, gave a really great presentation.
I didn't ask for any money. I didn't have an offer. I had a heart to help people and meet them where they were at and find their need and fulfill it.
Sean is the bomb.
All right. So again, guys, the question, right? Here's the question. I've got the skills. I know I have what it takes to dominate, but I'm stuck in a space of participating, or I'm even stuck in a space of procrastinating. Okay. That was me. That I promise you, that was me. When I was in school, when I went to that school, it was the same thing. I didn't even participate. If I would have participated, I would have dominated. And that's the situation with a lot of my people watching this right now. They call it the fear of success. You're trying to map out what's going to happen when you make $1 million, because you know that if you throw your hat in the ring, you're absolutely going to crush it, and you just don't know what happens next. I knew, I felt it in my stomach that I could dominate the entire competition. But that was scary. That was scary. I didn't know what it would look like. I didn't know what would happen next. I didn't know how the kids would look at me. I didn't know where it would take my popularity campaign. So I didn't participate at all. I didn't throw my hat in the ring, and I've regretted it for the past 30 years, 30 plus years. And I want you to think of all the things that you have the ability to do: speak, coach, consult, author, lead, run, own, dominate, all the things that you have the ability to do that you're not doing. And guys, share this out, right? If you're watching this on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, like share this out. People need to hear more of this. They need to know that they have what it takes to dominate. So anyway, you're in the space of participating. You're in the space of procrastinating. You're not in the space of dominating, even though you know you could do it, should do it, would do it. If what? You would do it if you had the confidence. You would do it if you had the confidence. At that time, I did not have the confidence. Why didn't I have confidence? Why do we have these innate abilities, these talents, these huge scopes of capacity, but we still don't have the confidence? The reason why we don't have the confidence, even though we have the competence, is because we haven't made the commitment yet. We haven't made the commitment yet. So remember when I talked about the why and the who? And you know how I show my wedding ring and I say my wife saved my life? It's because when I met my wife, I gained a deeper sense of commitment to success, a deeper level of commitment to myself. When I saw my son for the first time, when I saw my children for the first time, when I think back on their faces, when I look at them now, I have commitment and I have absolute clarity and certainty on what needs to be done. So because I have clarity and because I have commitment, I have the courage. I can't run away from my responsibilities. And the reason why we don't show up sometimes is because we don't feel like we really, really have to. And we think playing it safe is safe. But if COVID hasn't shown us anything, and, you know, if you watch the timeline and keep your fingers to the pulse, it looks like there's been a recent uptick, right? There's always something going on. We know what's going on in the Middle East and all of that. There's always some social unrest. There's always something threatening to destabilize that which we just got back in place. Think about your finances. Think about your credit score. Think about the insecurity in the job market and the unemployment rate. Sometimes we play it safe, but we can't really act or convince ourselves that it's really comfortable out here. Do you understand? One shift can change everything. One cough too many and we're all back in the house. The playtime is over. One cough too many and we'll be back indoors. Just think about that. It gives you a different level of commitment, doesn't it? It gives you a different understanding. It gives you a different, that should be clarifying for you. That should be clarifying for you. You know why? Because everybody had goals in 2019. This is the fourth quarter. Listen, guys, I don't want to make a prophecy, right? But I want you to think. In 2019, let's go back to 2019. 2019, the bottom of the fourth quarter, because that's where we're at now. The fourth quarter of the year. There was another fourth quarter of the year in 2019. And everybody had goals and everybody had plans and everybody had thoughts about what they were going to do in 2020. And then New Year's came and we tallied up our score. We looked at our accomplishments and then we reset our goals. They called them resolutions. Everybody had resolutions. Everybody had goals. Everybody had plans for 2020 and what they were going to do. And then March came. And then March came. And we got marched into the house. And our goal structure and our opportunities and our resolutions got smashed to dust. These things can happen, do happen in multiple different ways in our lives. And what we have to do is we have to make a commitment to ourselves and to others and to something bigger than ourselves in order to gain the clarity of how serious it is. How serious it is that we do what, Sean? How serious it is that we define clarity, define parameters, utilize courage to take on things that are seemingly insurmountable, things that are not comfortable, get out of our comfort zones, and from getting out of our comfort zones consistently, I say that consistency plus intensity creates invincibility. So consistency plus intensity equals invincibility. The courage to try will prove to you that you are more powerful than you ever thought possible, and then you will get your confidence. You have the competence. You're waiting for the commitment to turn into clarity, to turn into courage, to turn into confidence. Confidence takes place when you've tried something that you didn't think you could do, and you found out that you were more prone to be successful than you ever thought possible. And I hope this sounds good, but I guarantee you, I don't script anything. I don't script anything. I'm just being extremely authentic, unscripted. Like, this is what I feel. This is what I believe to be true. And I hope it resonates with you. I really do. I really hope it resonates with you. And I hope that you're feeling the confidence, because I guarantee you that you have the ability to do so much more, be so much more, touch so much more, earn so much more, change so much more in your lives and in the lives of those around you. Listen, before I wrote my first book, I didn't know I had it in me. Let me say that again. Before I wrote my first book, I didn't know that I had the book in me. I was writing, but I wasn't confident because I had never done it before. So I was just writing. I tell everybody the story. I was doing a homework assignment for college, and I just, it was supposed to be a 10-page essay, and around the 15th page, 18th page, I was like, hold on, I've still got more. I've still got a lot more. And I had changed my life so dramatically meeting my wife that I just kept writing and kept pouring. And there was like an overflow of emotions and an overflow of intellectual stimulation from all the things that I was learning, that I just shut down the article and I said, hold on, I need to keep writing. I need to keep writing. Guys, you got so much inside of you that if you put the pen to the paper and you commit, your book will be done. This is why we teach the 10 PD framework. So I actually turned it into a framework because I wrote my first book, 264, like 300 pages in less than 30 days. Why? Because I was committed. Oh my God, I was committed. And I had gained the courage from consistently writing. When I tell you you got 10 books inside of you, I mean it. When I tell you that if you put the pen to the paper, put your fingers to the keyboard, oh man, the magic that'll happen, the gifts that will show up, and the chains that will be taken off of you. How they say, woman, thou art loosed. I tell people all the time, I say, speakers speak, coaches coach, and consultants consult. And they say, Sean, I want to be a speaker. I say, okay, speak. Let me hear something. And then they talk to me regularly, and I'm like, okay, great. Now go live and share it with the people. And that's where they stop. And they're like, hold on, pump the brakes. And I'm like, why are you pumping the brakes? Because I'm not sure of, and I'm like, what are you not sure of? I'm not sure how, whatever the excuse is, I'm not sure how I'm going to be perceived. I'm not sure if it's going to come out right. I'm not sure if my job is going to be upset with me. I'm not sure if my mother's going to take it the right way. I don't know if the people on Facebook who are my friends are going to see me doing business now and it's going to seem salesy. And I'm like, listen, stop overthinking. And that's what we're going to talk about when we come back, overthinking and underacting. Overthinking and underacting. I was speaking yesterday about the goblin in the closet, the ghoul, the monster in the closet, the dark shadows that play their games on our emotions when we're adolescents. We're not adolescents anymore. We're not adolescents anymore. We don't need to hide under the covers and wonder what the shadow is in the closet. It's time. If you're a speaker, speak. If you're a coach, coach. If you're a consultant, consult. If you're a writer, write. If you're a leader, lead. Stop waiting for someone else outside of you to give you permission to exist in your skin. The day you were born, you were given that. The day you were born, you were given the permission to exist, and not just exist, but to dominate and exist in your phenomenality. That's what we're here for. What do they say? Go forth and conquer. Be fruitful and multiply. Subdue the earth. What are we waiting for? Who are you waiting to give you permission? Like, I'll be honest. Like, you know, when I was young, I would ask my mother things. Mom, can I go outside? Mom, can I go to a friend's house? Dad, can I stay out till 8 o'clock tonight? There's something taking place. Mommy and daddy aren't here anymore. I'll just be honest. My mother and my father been gone for a moment. I don't need to ask. I ask permission in my soul. Like, I pray and ask for permission. I ask for grace. I ask for mercy, and I ask for forgiveness if I do something wrong, but I will go forth. And that's what you need to get the mindset of, that you're going to make mistakes, that it's not going to be perfect, that you're going to mess up, that people are going to be upset. Everybody's not going to like you. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. Greatness and that aspiration towards greatness is always judged by those who are barely participating, pontificating, and procrastinating. Those who are extremely active are always judged by those who are inactive. They think there's something wrong because you're loud. They think there's something wrong because you're assertive. They think there's something wrong because you're active. They think there's something wrong because you want to raise. They think there's something wrong because you wrote a book. Why is he telling all of our secrets? Write the book. If they did something wrong, let them deal with it. Let them deal with it in their conscience. Some people say, I don't want to write the book because I don't know how the people are going to look at it. If they did something and you're going to include them in your book, they shouldn't have done whatever they did. Hey, I'm just being honest this morning, right? I'm just being honest this morning. This is the Breakfast with the Brand. My name is Sean Rais, and I want to help you. I want to help you get out of your own way, because that's what I hear a lot of the times. When clients come to me, they say that I'm in my own way, I'm stuck, and I'm like, what's stopping you? Like, I don't see any change. Are you on parole? Like, no, I'm not on parole. I say, okay, so why don't you travel? Why don't you travel? Well, you know, some people say I don't have a passport. And I say, well, why don't you get a passport? I want to be an international speaker. Okay, so get a passport. These are things that you can do, guys. There's nothing stopping you but you right now. That's it. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the curse of overthinking and underactivity. Let's grow. I don't talk theory. I don't talk hyperbole. I don't talk opinion. Nothing I talk is anything but evidence-based.
During the G Circle retreat in Atlanta, I had the pleasure and the honor of listening to Mr. Sean Rais. He will not only impact your organization, but he will elevate your team to another level.
When you change you, when you put you into the equation, the whole system is different. I guarantee you, you got the right thing. You are the right person. If you can present yourself in the best way possible, there's no negotiation.
His energy is infectious, and I have so many takeaways from the presentation that I can't wait to get started and implement them today to see the result.
It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are, so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. The reason why I did this and what I do is help leaders to become brands and brand themselves. You train people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. I teach authenticity marketing. If people can take advantage of you, they will in your personal or professional existence.
My biggest takeaway just from day one is you are the brand. I would recommend it to anybody that's really looking to build a personal brand.
Just the brand in general has changed my life. I've grown so much since I've been a part of this.
I see myself in what he does, and I believe in it just as much as I believe in myself.
All right, guys. All right. So in the $1 Billion Brand group on Facebook, we have LaRoca. LaRoca drops a little heart emoji on the podcast. We appreciate it. You know, we acknowledge you. I wanted to acknowledge you real quick. And I want to acknowledge everybody on this, watching this. I know it's early in the morning. I know a lot of people are hustling and bustling and, you know, getting to work and rushing. And if you're paying attention to your own personal and professional development, that's huge. If you go beyond that and you choose to include us in that process, that's even bigger. And I acknowledge it and I appreciate it. But I will warn you of this. Please don't undervalue what's free. A lot of times when something is free, people don't value it or value the quality of it. And they actually will value more something that is of less value, but something that they actually paid for because they didn't have to pay for that which was of more value. So think about this. Let me give you an example. Oxygen. Oxygen. How mindful are we that we're breathing all day, every day, and it doesn't cost us money to breathe? Just think of that, because life gives oxygen gives us life, but we don't think about it. Just like water. Water gives us life. We just go turn on the spout, right? Or go grab the aqua panna or whatever the case may be, and we don't think about it. We just grab it, and we value things that are much less valuable than oxygen and water, right? So we just want to be mindful of that. I'm going to tell you a story real quick, just so you understand that I relate to you and I know where you're at. I can remember being told that I was no longer where I came from. So this is during a training. This was during my early inception of my self-development. And I'm in a training and I'm learning, well, what I really learned was how to be sociable. So I was antisocial based on where I came from. Based on being in Harlem, you don't talk a lot. You don't definitely smile and show your teeth and all that stuff. Like those were signs of weakness, especially for men. We don't do those things. We don't talk. We don't do the things that I'm doing right now. Smiling on camera and speaking on camera, like that stuff would get you hurt where I come from. It was taboo. It was completely insanity. So the woman had to tell me, Sean, you're no longer where you grew up. Like, I don't know what you've been through, but you're not there anymore. You should try to smile sometimes, because you can be intimidating. And as I was, my last thought was to intimidate anyone. And I was a little physically imposing just because of my size. But I was like, are you serious? And she said, yeah, you scare us. And I thought about my goals. I thought about where I was trying to go in life and what I was trying to do in life and what I was trying to accomplish in life and how I was trying to go forth into the world and bring something home to my family. And I said, I can't do it if I'm intimidating. I can't do it if people are afraid of me. If I go to an interview and the people are scared to have me within their organization, it's not going to happen. So let me practice this thing called smiling. And I literally, guys, used to practice the art of smiling for hours in front of a mirror. Like in the morning before I left, the same way some people pray and brush their teeth, I would be practicing in front of a sink, showing my teeth. And now, people, it was funny because I posted we did a photo shoot recently and people are in there laughing and they're saying, why doesn't he smile? Because it's just not second nature. I just don't do it naturally. I have to be reminded to smile. So people were in the comments about, why doesn't he smile? And somebody just said smile. And then somebody came under, it's like, yeah, he's had such a nice smile. And I'm putting in there like, yeah, right. LOL, because that's just not my first nature. Guys, but when I was young, I used to smile all the time and I used to laugh and I used to have fun. Guys, listen, we have an assertive nature that will allow us to dominate and actively participate in creation of emotions, experiences, and things that will change our lives and the lives of those around us if we unlearn what was imposed upon us at a younger age. Now, my background is industrial and organizational psychology, organizational development, and educational leadership. 3 master's degrees. So I might get a little clinical sometimes, but I guarantee you this, from a behavioral background, if we unlearn the things that were imposed upon us. So what I do a lot of times with my clients is I tell them and I actively help them turn their drama and trauma into commas. So I help them monetize where they got traumatized, because our crown glory is within our story. And the things that happen to us, we can use them to fuel us. I know I said a lot of things, and I want you to think about the things that I said, because a lot of times it's the things that you hide that actually free you. It's the things that you're least comfortable revealing to the world that will be the reason why they accept you and embrace you and exalt you and hold you on high. America loves a turnaround story. Most of the people that that are massively successful are successful because they've endured massive hardship. Just look at certain populations of people that are exalted and held on high and seem to dominate every sector that they step into. And then think about what they've been through to make them that way. And then think of yourself and the level to which you're engaging. The level to which you're engaging. Okay, so I promised before we went to the break, I was going to go into the next piece. The last segment was about confidence and how confidence came from clarity and commitment. And this last piece I want to talk about is overthinking and underacting. A lot of us have a curse. And that curse is wanting things to be perfect. We want things to be just so. So that gives us an excuse not to begin or not to commit or not to follow through because we don't know what's on the other side. Oh, listen to me. Explorers set out in a boat with a limited amount of food, having no clue if there was anything else on the other side of the water. And that's how we got to this continent. And that's how we discovered, just think of the names: discoverer, explorer, going on an expedition to expand and to grow. I always say at the end of any time I speak, I say, let's grow. let's grow. And what that means is to let's grow. Like, you got to let go so you can begin to grow. Let go of what you've been through. Let go of what you think you're going through right now. Look at what someone else is going through, and let's grow. Let's expand. Let's explore. Let's discover. Let's go further. Let's push the envelope, push the narrative, challenge ourselves, challenge society, challenge the boundaries of the box that we believe that we're caged in. I know sometimes people are like, Sean, you're changing narratives, you're pushing narratives. Well, if I don't push, who will? If I don't push myself, who will? Who's going to come home? Who's going to come into your house and push you and encourage you and motivate you and tell you to get up and get out and get about something? Who's going to tell you to go further? Who tells you in the morning what time to get up and get out? Well, if you stick around too long, it'll probably be your spouse, right? But it should be us. It should be us. But as long as we're in our heads, we're dead. We got to get to the feet. We got to get from the head to the feet and put the feet on the floor and put them in front of us and continue to do the same thing over and over and over again. They talk about Roger Bannister and the 4-minute mile and how no one had hit the 4-minute mile until they learned that he had. You understand? So for all of you who have the potential to speak and the desire to speak, but you don't know if you can, watch me. Watch us. Look at the people who speak, and be ye transformed through the renewal of your mind, and open your mouth and begin to speak to the people so you can change the situation. If you don't like your situation, do something about it. But you can't outthink the situation. That's what I want you to understand. You can't outthink the situation. You have to outact. You have to outperform the competition. Thinking has to be converted into action for it to be effective. And I'm going to take you back to the beginning real quick before we go. So in the beginning, I talked about the spelling bee that took place. It didn't make a difference how well I could spell because I wasn't on the stage, guys. I was in my seat, hiding from the stage, spelling every word in my head, every single word, as the children would stop and stammer and hem and haw and put their hands forth to talk about the letters. In my head, I had spelled it like clockwork. They did not come up with the word that was hard for me to spell, but it didn't make a difference. We still lost the competition because I wasn't on the stage. So I want you to think about life and opportunity and your life and your opportunity and the stage in front of you. People are playing full out and they're not doing half as well as you could. But you're not participating. You're not on the stage. You're playing the game in your head and you're dominating the game in your head, but only you know it. A lot of times we're superstars in our own home. Like, we know we good at it. Our families know we good at it. Our girlfriends know we good at it. Our husbands know we good at it, but nobody else does. We go to school or we go to work and we go to different situations and we participate in a stage play. Now, what does that mean? You guys are going to work, getting into your jobs, knowing that you were meant for 10 times what you're doing, knowing that you were meant to be the CEO, knowing that you could run this place better, knowing that you could put initiatives into HR that would free people, knowing that you could lead the program better, knowing that you could write 10 books, but you haven't written one. Stop me when I'm wrong. We have so much potential, so much untapped potential. You know, on YouTube, they telling me to preach. I'm trying not to preach, but I guarantee you that sometimes it might sound like a sermon and it might feel convicting because I'm convicted. I am convicted. I am completely convinced that we are playing small and that we have so much opportunity and that we could add a 0 to our net worth immediately. What did I say? I said we can add a 0 to our net worth immediately as soon as we get out of our own way and let our hands go and let our minds go and let our tongues go and let our feet take us where we're supposed to be. I was supposed to be on that stage. You have a stage that you're supposed to be on. I know I'm speaking to somebody right now. You have a stage that you're supposed to be on, and you know what it is. So this Thursday, the 19th of October, the top of the fourth quarter, 2023, I want you to free yourself, get up and walk to the stage that you're supposed to be on. And let your hands go, and let your minds go, and let your tongues go, and let your feet take you where you're supposed to go next. Stop overthinking and underacting. Stop overthinking and underacting. And I'm not saying don't think at all. Yes, please use your mind. Please use your mind for the third time. Please use your mind. But more important than you using your mind, you must use your mouth, and you must use your body, and you must act. So that's the main message for today. There's 3 of them. Write them down. Number 1, dominate the day. Don't participate. Don't procrastinate. And stop talking about it if you're not going to be about it. Don't pontificate. Number 3, in order to gain confidence, you need commitment. And if you want to have commitment, just look at the loved ones around you and the people that depend upon you. And if you don't have one, pick one. Commit to them. It'll give you clarity. From that clarity, you act, which will bring courage forth, and that will give you that will give you the confidence that you need to build your confidence and to keep going and to keep attacking bigger challenges. And number 3, which the most important, stop overthinking and underacting. Let your mind go, let your tongue go, let your hands go. And let your feet go and take you to the stage that you belong on. This is Sean Wright East. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. Same time, same place, 7 a.m. EST. Share this out so somebody else can get it. Share this out. If you think this has been good, talk to me. I'm all about the narrative. I'm all about the engagement. I know how to smile now. I found my ability to smile, right? So go ahead. Tell me what you think. If you disagree, that's fine. We can engage in that as well. It's perfectly fine. But let's grow. That's the main thing. Let's grow. Let go and let's grow. I'll see you tomorrow morning.